Circuit Ricardo Tormo, also known as Valencia, the latest and the newest track added to Assetto Corsa Competizione in the latest DLC, the GT World Challenge 2023. This 4-kilometer racetrack can be very challenging, so that's why I have you covered in this video, which will be a track guide to Valencia. By the way, this is gonna be very detailed and very long video. I talk a lot in this video. Valencia, very tricky racetrack, guys. It's so important to learn the limits of the track limits on this track, and the braking zones are very difficult. Now going to the first corner, heavy braking, using all the track, guys, all the track limits we can use here. Now massive braking to the next corner, make sure to use all the ABS you can. Very important to have a good smooth inputs here in this sector. Keep it very nice and smooth. Through the track limits. Oh, I hate this upcoming corner. This one is so hard. You can lose and gain so much in that corner, guys. It's so difficult. Important to have a good exit. Now another dry braking corner, like very important, these ABS in these GT cars to keep you on. Another one as well. Very easy to brake too late or too early. Okay, keep it smooth, keep it smooth. Using all the track as you can see, but be careful over the bumps. Okay, let's do one more lap. And proper focus now. We will go to the deep analysis right after my lap, guys. I want to show you like a okay-ish lap, you know, okay-ish lap. Come on, push, push, push. Late apex there. Missed the apex bit. This is such a difficult corner, guys. Such a difficult corner. Could be better. Always a lot of room to improve, as you can see. But yeah, this is like a normal installation lap. In these conditions, guys, we are 23, 27. You should be able to do 20, like the best drivers are doing 29s. It is very difficult, very hard. But let's put analysis, I want to show you the braking zones, why I'm using what, and you have to assess. The track limits are the most difficult to learn on this track, so let's check it out. Now, I will go through it with the replay, with the help of the replay, guys, because I was thinking about doing some drawings and things like that, but I want to keep it as simple as possible, and hopefully it's gonna be good for you. So let's go. Going to the first corner, guys. As you see, you can go all the way across the right line. I can go even more to the right, but the thing is, if you cross with your wheels the white line, or if you go your left wheels, if you go over the white line, you will invalidate your lap. So I tend to, personally, I'm not going too much to the right, because I tend to like steer just before the braking, I tend to steer to the right. So usually you want to have your car a bit straightened up here. As a braking, I use a very simple thing. When I go past, it's not seen from the onboard, but when I go past these little flip-flops here on the exit, it's basically like when I'm behind some car, it's telling me I'm supposed to be getting ready for the braking, you know? Like, does it make sense? Like, when you're following some car, it's sometimes very hard to see the boards on the left because they are very far on this track. On this track, the boards are very, very far away. So I'm using these flip-flops on the right, and they are basically telling me like 3, 2, 1, prepare for braking, you know? But my actual braking board is like, when I tip on a brake, is this 50-meter board and the what is it called, white mantle on the right side of the wall. I don't use it exactly as I want to. Like, obviously, like sometimes you want to brake on a certain line, but for me, this is like a peripheral vision that when I know I'm to brake here, and therefore after that I put it in my muscle memory at the same time, you know. So you brake, see, and go into the corner. Downshift. On some cars you can use the third gear. On sometimes you can use the fourth gear. I think in a Porsche, if you watch my races, I used fourth gear in a quali, and in the race when the tires were going down, I used the third gear into the first corner. Now, very important, guys. You can go over this curb. You can go over this curb until a certain moment. This curb is until here. I hope you can see the mouse very clearly. Until this point, the curb is quite flat, but exponentially going up, and there's a big jump. So do not cut this corner, guys, because if you cut this corner, the car will fly straight off the racetrack. So never go too much over this curb, you know. As you can see, using like, now I didn't took it that much, but I'm using like almost half a car at a certain point, like 1/3 of the car. If you go on the green, like this much on the left wheel, it's still okay. But here, look at this, like, look at this massive lunge control jump. Then exit of the first corner, guys. This is the most forgiving corner on this track. On the exit of the corner, as you can see, this is the maximum you can go with the car. This is literally almost, this is like, I would say almost perfect, like here. This is almost perfect, but it's very hard to know exactly where you are, right? When you're in onboard, because this corner, if you notice in some online races, this corner doesn't give you warning if you are with your left wheels over this red part. It gives you warning when you are here already. So if I will go, I don't know, 10, 15 centimeters too much to the right, that would be invalidated lap time. So you can go a lot of the track. I would say like 1 car width, but I would say like this is the limit. You know, when you look at the onboard, this is your dashboard. You want to have it in the middle, maximum, you know? Maximum middle of the dashboard. Important, right after this corner, you have to go back on the track, because if you cross this curb with your left wheels, this curb, if you cross it with your left wheels, it will give you warning or you will invalidate your lap. So make sure to turn back onto the racetrack like this and go into the next corner. In the next corner, I saw a lot of people online going all the way on the curb on the right side. I think it's completely fine. I don't do it personally because I had a little bit of issues where I was like kicking too much ABS and the tires were locking up. So I try, it probably depends on your driving, on your setup, also on your car. So I prefer to like go over the curb, but do not go over the curb too much. You know, so as you can see, I have like, yeah, a little bit of the tires on the right side, but I'm not like on the green part at all. You know, that green part is very slippery, but you can do it. You can do it. Like, it depends on you. As you notice on this track, the braking boards are so far away. So far away. Look at this. 100-meter board is so far away. 50-meter board is so far away. But to help you basically find a place, they have these lines, like basically these white patches is like almost like 50-meter board. So if you go to any other corner on the racetrack, like here, you will notice there is a 100-meter board, there's a white line. There's a 50-meter board, and there's a white line. I don't think it aligns exactly as it should. Like here, it's actually perfect, but not here. It's a bit little different and so on. So you can use these white lines as your good braking marks, which is exactly what I'm using to the next corner. You can see it on the left as well on the Mantinel. I think they are having it like very smart way on Valencia. So here on the left, here on the right, and here on the right is the 50-meter board. I use this line as a braking board. I brake, like, I think in a quali, when you are like really in a hardcore trim, you can brake on the line, but I usually brake just before the line. See? Let's see if you guys see it in the lights. These lights on the car are very low. See? We braked around, like with your front, when you are before that white line. See? Here, I tapped on the brake. So when you're in the cockpit, you're like right before the line, like, I don't know, 15 meters, 10 meters, I guess we can say. This was early though. I braked early. So in like a proper quali, I would brake where my dash of the car is touching this white line. So in a like a good lap, like really good lap, I would brake here, approximately here, you know. You can try. It really depends on the car, I would say. The Porsche is quite good in this, but you trigger the ABS massively, so you have to trail into the corner aggressively through the front tires. So that's a good braking board for me. I think it's quite visible. Also, like, good point is basically when you're behind some car again, you have the white wall on the left and the white 50 braking board on the right. So let's say you're on the left side of the racetrack. You see the white markings on the wall. You know that you have to brake when you go past it, you know? It's like, past it, half a second, brake, you know? Like that. I hope it makes sense, guys, by the way. I'm really trying to make it as friendly as possible. In this left corner, you can see I lock up a little bit, so it wasn't ideal. Sometimes you can, like, really send it. You have to really lean to the front tires. This track is really good. You can go over the left curb. No problem whatsoever. Again, same as the first corner. Don't go like over the edge. Just go on the limit of the curb, you know, like nice edge there. On the exit, now important thing. After the first corner, every single curb is your track limits. So, on the exit from this corner, as you can see, I can go all across, but if I get my left wheels over this curb, I will invalidate. It's really, really strict. Really, really strict. So I recommend really learning these because first of all, you will gain so much time if you use the whole track limits. And second of all, you will avoid drive-thrus in the race. So yeah, this is very straightforward. Again, you can cut this curve, but again, don't go too much over it. Be very, very smooth, very, very easy. Another braking board, white line on the left. Perfect to know where to go, you know? It's like very perfect. You go past it, poof, brake, you know? Right on it. Very, very smooth. In this lap, I think the line was pretty good. But at the same time, I could have go on the right curb a little bit. The thing is, the right curb, if you take it too much, will unsettle your car. So this line I took was quite okay. But if you go a little bit to the right, it's no problem at all. Very important to keep your car stable in through this whole sector. Especially here. You can get so much time. Again, you can look at the track limits. Don't go to the gravel. If you go to the gravel, not only you will lose a little bit of time, but you will also invalidate your lap and get a warning. So again, using the maximum of the car. Look at this. Look at this. We are literally on the absolute limit. Absolute limit of the car. Like, again, I had half a tire left. If I would go a little bit too much, see, I'm literally on a perfect line here. If you go like half a tire too much, you will invalidate and get a warning. So I think this was pretty cool. Through this whole sector, smoothness and the inputs are really important. If you're, for example, making setup for your car, in this sector, it's so important to have a lot of stability under acceleration. So you have to have a good TC settings, very stable car, you know, the suspension probably not too stiff at the same time. Aero, very important, you know, full aero if possible. And be very, very smooth on your inputs. Again, I'm going over the right curb a bit, but be careful because that green part ends very quickly. So if you go over this grass, there's a bit of a bump here. It will unsettle you, you know? So as you can see, I'm going to the corner like this. Let's see if I go over the grass a tiny bit. I just want to see. Or if I see going over the curb just a tiny bit. And oh my god, this was almost perfect. See? It's actually nice going over this. Because if I would go 20, 30 centimeters to the right, I would probably bump. you know, and would unsettle the car. So going through the corner, again, here, the same as the previous corner. Learn the track limit. Important though, try not to unsettle your car here. You basically have to like a little bit sell the exit, because if I go too much to the left, I will have a problem going right for the next corner. So you want to have your car very straight in this part. You have like very, very straight. So you can instantly on the exit, without losing time, turn right. So you can transfer here. Again, another braking port, this white thing. You know, this white thing is, I think it's like 50-meter thing. Perfect for braking. If you don't know where to brake, if you have a car, if you are an overtaking car in this corner, if you are like, for example, you are here and there's a car next to you, for your braking board, what I use is this, like this. Obviously, it's very far away from the corner, but at the same time, with your peripheral vision, imagine you are sitting like here in a car and you see this orange thing. Now is when you want to, sorry, you can't see it, right? Here. So you're going into the corner. This is your peripheral vision. This is where you would brake, that whiteboard. But in your peripheral, if you are here, I have an ultra wide screen, you know. I see this yellow thing. Orange, sorry, orange. That's why I want to brake for the next one, so I don't miss the corner, you know. So here, hit a brake. Again, now very important, guys. You kind of have to use this curb, because obviously you want to make the track as wide as possible for you. But this curb is an ass. This curb I personally hate, because this curb is unsettling the car a lot. Obviously, this green thing is unsettling the car a lot. And the next corner is, I hate it personally, it's so difficult. Usually the best thing is to brake a little bit, brake as well, but turn a little bit later. Because obviously, from here, you're going up the hill. And you want to have as smooth acceleration as possible. Like any oversteer, any drift in this corner will cost you a lot of time. So go into the corner, and from around this time, you want to be really on a maximum of throttle, you know? Like, as you can see. Maximum of the throttle, you know? As smooth as possible. As smooth as possible. Again, the same goes to the rest of the track. Do not go over this curb with your left wheels. If you go over these, first of all, you will probably lose some time. But also, second of all, you will instantly invalidate. Instantly get a warning. You can't even slow down for it. So, this is all the way on the limit. Next corner, my favorite. This is great corner for overtaking. Great corner for sending it. The braking point is actually very simple. You look at this white line. It's same as the first corner. You see that white line and you brake. Basically with your dash. See? With my dash together with this, I can actually, in a hot lap, like if I would be like really tryharding, you can brake with your dash going through it. Like around here is where you can start braking. And it works very well. On this track, I think if you want to learn trail braking, this track is the best, you know? It's very important to find a good balance between your braking power and the ABS of the GT3 car. So going to the corner, trying to straighten up the car just before the braking as much as you can. Heavy braking. And just before the corner, a little bit turning into the corner. So you're using not only the ABS and everything, but also, you know, the tires to brake the car. Being very, very smooth through all the apex. Here I actually made a mistake compared to the previous lap. I accelerated a little bit too early, and as you can see, I'm understeering, so I had to do like a little lift to avoid it. And here again, don't go over this curb too much. This is the maximum you want to take it. Otherwise, you invalidate. This is a very strict place for the curb. But you want to be very, very careful on acceleration here. It's very easy to slide and drift as well. That corner is very tricky. It's like a weird angle. So, yeah, be careful. Next corner, again. Okay, here over the curb. This corner, probably one of the hardest corners on the track. Because you have to do massive braking into the corner. Braking board here, I think it's very simple. Basically, as soon as you turn, like exit the turn almost, you know, here. It's like in middle of the corner. I think I could have braked even later. It really is hard to find a good point. You can use the Pirelli signs, you can use whatever you want. What I use is this apex, like this part. It's like apex of, like, it's not an apex, but exit of the apex, I call it for myself. And this is where you want to brake. And you want to try to straighten the car as much as you can, but at the same time try to turn it. Does it make sense? Let's see the steering wheel. You basically open it, close it, open it, close it. Turn, open, and close. See? Let's show it in a slow motion. Very tricky corner, guys. It's if you brake too late or if you turn too much at the entry, you will kick too much ABS and it will go straight or you will lose the rear. That's why it's so tricky. But it's also a good place to send it. So basically what I use as a braking board is this part on here. Straighten up the car, hit the brake. You also sometimes have to do some counter steer, depends. And, you know, I'm working with the ABS and everything, and then I'm turning, trying to make the corner and, like, rip the front tires, you know, using the front tires to slow down the car and hit the apex of the corner, you know. This corner, I don't dare to tell you which apex is the best. You can have a late apex, soon apex. The only thing that matters is the acceleration. Is smooth as butter. Again, going over the curb. Now maybe you can notice on online races, after you use the curb, you go a little bit to the right and then you go left again using the whole track. There's a big bump here. Some cars don't like it, some cars don't mind, so I think you will probably find out, you know. Like here, there's a grass, you know, so like I usually tend to go a little bit right and then go left again. Like this. Again, this white thing, braking again in front of it, same as the second corner. As you see it on your dash, you hit the brake, down the third, and turn. This corner is so tricky. You can gain so much and lose so much. I think, first of all, it's very important to have a good balance and like suspension setting for this car, for your car. Because if you bottom out too much, your front will lift, or at the worst, your rear will lift, and you will lose tremendous amount of time. So you want to take it very smooth. Very smooth. You send it on the entry, basically. When you see your car is already turning, you go on a throttle, and you're basically working with that, trying to straighten up the car, trying to straighten up the wheel. Look. Straighten up the wheel here over these bumps, and go. I could have cut way more. I could have gone a little bit more to the left. But the track limit there is very important. It's very, very difficult. Pardon. Very, very difficult. Now, last corner. Going to the last corner, I have several braking boards here. One is the easier way. It's these elf boards on the left. As I missed the last one, I brake. You know? Exactly the same as the previous corners. You have to straighten up the wheel. Like you're turning, straighten up the wheel, hit the brake, release the brake, and turn a bit. You know, like trail braking. Very difficult. Obviously, sometimes in online races, those elf boards are gone. For that, I use a very simple braking board. Actually, two. I can tell you two, basically. But one is the Fanatec thing in front of me. If you notice, I straighten up my car completely. And it's because when I'm straightening towards the Fanatec, I can hit the brake. But it just probably works for me. It's just my little, like, a muscle memory there. You can probably notice it. As soon as I'm straight to looking at the Fanatec, I hit the brake. You know? But it's not very good. The third one, actually, you can use is, again, the white patches. There's a white patch we just missed on the right side. It's, I think, like 200-meter board or something. That can basically... this one. That can tell you that, okay, there's a corner approaching. And you can brake. Or you can use this one because you see it in front of you. And after a few laps, you will probably learn into your muscle memory that that white patch is certain distance and you can brake, you know. Very important in this corner, guys. I hope this works, by the way. Let me know if this is okay for you guys. It's a very long video. I'm sorry. But I try to do it very in a detail. You straighten up the wheel again, you brake, and turn. You know, exactly the same as the previous 3 corners we have done. You basically have to brake and turn with your wheel and releasing the brake. Do we see the HUD here? Okay, let's try to watch the HUD here on the right-hand corner. I go full on the brake. Downshift to second. And now turning into the apex, we are releasing the brake and going into the corner, you know? And applying throttle. Very easy, guys. I think it's very easy to do. Again, exit, exactly the same as the rest of the track, guys. Literally, the only place where you can go over this curb is the first corner. Rest of the track is completely different, you know? And that's how you do a lap on Valencia Circuit Ricardo Tormo, guys. Let me know if this helps, by the way, please. Very interesting thing as well, guys. Pit entry. I think it's very important to say as well. The pit entry is very simple. Very wide pit entry. Imagine you are going in a car. You're going into the pit. And you don't know where to brake, right? You go into the pit. It's very hard to brake. My braking board, personally, is this orange tire barrier. I'm going to the pit. And when I'm here, I brake. 100%. 100% brake around this place. 100% braking. And you go into the corner. To the pit. You know? 50 kilometer. Very easy to do. Very easy to remember. The pit entry is literally the easiest one probably on any track in this game. So yeah. The pit exit is a bit tricky. You have to follow this white line all over the exit. So be really careful when the car's approaching. But yeah. Pretty cool. I love this track, guys. It's very technical. If you want me the best overtaking opportunities, guys, on this track, well, if you have a straight line speed, you can go on the left of the car and overtake the car to the corner, but you have to watch out for a good exit here. Or you can go from the outside, the car will outbrake himself a little bit, and you go to the left side here. This left-hander is a perfect place to send it, but be careful, because you brake on such a short gap. You know, the gap into the corner is so short, you brake so late. I also like to send it into this corner, but it's very difficult because the turn is only like, I wouldn't say it's 45 degree, but 40 degree corner. Very, you can do it, but you have to be careful, you know, let's say it that way. Then also, if the car ahead of you has a bad exit, you can send it to the left-hander here, if he lets you. But the exit is so important, it's gonna be so hard. So, yeah. The next corner is probably the easiest to overtake, because you have a long left-hander, but obviously you have to have an inside, you know? So if you have an inside, you can beautifully follow it, let the guy go wide, and he will lose everything. Also, this corner, I like to send it on the inside, but the problem, because of this corner, is so tricky. If you send it on the inside of some people, they will most likely not see you. They will just understeer. Sorry, they will just turn into you because they didn't pay attention. So this is very tricky corner. Very rewarding when you send it nicely, but it's very tricky to make the move, you know? This corner, mostly never overtake if you are not forced to, or if you don't have super gap or something, because going side by side here is extremely difficult. If the guy goes a little bit offline, he can crash you off. And then the last corner is the perfect opportunity, you know? If somebody's going like on a normal braking zone, you send it on the left side, straighten the car completely, brake, and go into the turn. And that's how you do it, guys. That's how you do Circuit Ricardo Tormo. I hope this was helpful, by the way. Let me know in the comments. Give me a like, and thank you so much, guys. I hope I tried to take it. It's gonna be like a 30-minute video. I'm sorry. I really wanted to make it very detailed, so I hope it's gonna help a lot of drivers out there. Be careful on the track limits. If you are like Daz or my community, be extremely careful on the track limits, and happy online racing, guys.